What?
Good night.
Come on. What is this?
Bye.
What is up, everybody? Holla, 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 holla. Welcome to the Twisted and Fisted Show. It's not like you could go anywhere because it's 8 o'clock. So welcome to the show. Jesus Christ, the earth is burning. We're burning. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know how funny we're going to be tonight. But we are going to be here and we are going to try our best for the next 20 minutes to make you at least forget about all the crap that we are dealing with right now. But first, I'd like to talk about this mandatory curfew. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I was curious, where did the word curfew come from? So today, on Twisted and Fisted, we are going to have a little education. We are going to learn.
And now, the history of the word curfew.
Now, as most of you stay indoors due to our mandatory curfew, I thought it'd be interesting to break down where the word curfew actually comes from. Now, most of us remember having a curfew when we were young, as it was the time set by our parents to decide when we'd need to be home. Now, if you're from the, let me put it nicely, the older generation, your curfew was when your mom poked her head out on your porch and said, "Come on in, it's dinner! Get your butts inside!" Now, if you are from a little bit of a younger generation, you use the street lamps as your mode of knowing when your curfew was up. Now, if you remember, if you were not in on time, you were not in when the street lights came on, that normally meant you getting a smacked ass and eating cold fish sticks. Jesus, remember when we used to eat fish sticks? What the fuck? Hey, by the way, remember when we used to be able to hit kids? Wow, what a country. However, curfew predates that childhood trauma. Now, the original use of the word was an evening bell which warned people to cover their fires for the night, to prevent their homes and their neighbors' homes from accidents. This warning was necessary as many European homes in the Middle Ages were very close together and fires could spread very quickly. The word curfew actually shows its roots from the Anglo-French couvre-feu, which in itself means to cover, and feu, which means fire. So if you were to break down the word curfew, it would actually mean to cover fire.
Although it's been centuries since we've used it like that. Right?
And now, this.
Welcome back to another episode of Crunchy's Closet, the only internet show. That's it. This is the only one. Ugh, what a difference a week makes, huh? This is gonna be a short episode. I haven't pre-written everything out like I usually do. I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here. Like the rest of you, I've been watching the coverage of the protests across the country over the last week, and I just want to take a minute to kind of give you some of my thoughts. Obviously, people are mad, and frankly, they've got a good reason to be. Our country has a 400-year history of systemic violence against people of color, and it's long past the time for us to acknowledge and try to change that. Now, I know that the scenes of looting and violence that you've been seeing on the news are breaking your heart, and don't get me wrong, I do feel bad for those business owners who are losing their investments or their savings, people who wake up to find their business is destroyed and don't know what they're going to do next. Feeling sorry for those people is perfectly human, but it's important not to lose sight of why all of this is happening in the first place. People don't riot for no reason. There's clearly a lot of anger and a lot of mistrust in the organizations that are meant to keep everyone safe. We can't pretend like this is the first time we've heard of it. And we can't pretend that we've been accepting of any other means that people have tried to protest these injustices. Eventually, the dam breaks. Anger spills over onto the street. And just like any chaotic situation, there is the potential that innocent people might be affected. But our response to this can't be as simple as rioting is bad. Of course rioting is bad. Nobody wants there to be riots. People riot when they feel they have no other recourse. People riot when they haven't been listened to for hundreds of years at this point. People riot when they are told time and again by those in power that this time things will be different. And they never are. And at a certain point, you have to decide which one you care about more. I don't care that a target got smashed to pieces. I care that a human being was executed on the street in front of a crowd of onlookers, and the reason nobody did anything is because they were afraid of what the police might do to them. And of course, there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of stories suggesting that most of the violence is not coming from the protesters, but provocateurs or agitators coming in from outside. There's groups like the Boogaloo Boys or the Proud Boys, or in some cases possibly even the police themselves, who are deliberately instigating this violence because they know that this footage can be used to discredit the whole movement. They know that if you see footage of people running in and out of a Target or a Foot Locker with their arms full of products, it's that much easier for you to focus on that, as if that is the problem, as if that is the reason everyone was out on the street in the first place. And I just can't stress this enough. Don't let them get away with it. Yes, all the violence and chaos is bad, and I wish it would stop. But there was violence before, too, and nobody noticed. There was violence against George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile. These are just the ones off the top of my head. We all know people of color are disproportionately targeted by law enforcement. And I'm sorry, the time for wringing our hands or sending thoughts and prayers is long over. People are in the streets demanding to be heard, demanding the reforms that they've been promised time and again and have never gotten. I'm not saying there are no bad actors out there. I want everyone to stay safe. But I also recognize that the reason this is happening is because most people didn't feel safe before. They didn't feel safe in their own communities. They didn't feel safe when they had to deal with the police. And frankly, the police's response to this has only reinforced that fear. Why are they launching chemical weapons at crowds of teenagers? All this started because of police brutality, and the response has been more of that brutality. Sure, there's a lot of footage of people looting, but there's just as much footage of police driving their cars through crowds of protesters, shoving people down on the street, clubbing them with batons, spraying pepper spray directly into people's faces. This is not how I want the police to act. The violence the police do is in our name. We can't be comfortable with allowing it to continue like this. So, I stand with the protesters. Look, please don't start any fires. Please don't hurt any innocent people. But also, most of them already aren't doing that. They are mad. They have a message. It's a message that needs to be heard, and it doesn't matter that it inconveniences or costs some people property or money to get that message out. I recognize that I'm a puppet. I am not the medium for this kind of message. People come to me and to this show to forget their problems and have a good time, or just to criticize what a shitty job I'm doing. You're not here to be lectured by me. But as they say, silence is violence. Not speaking out against this is the same as tacitly condoning it. And I may not have much of a platform, but I will use the one that I have to make sure that people understand what they should be mad about. Target will rebuild. Scottsdale Fashion Square will rebuild. For those small business owners that lost their livelihoods, we should support funds set up to help them through these difficult times. We should improve the social safety net so that people who lose their livelihoods through no fault of their own don't have to have their lives ruined for it. But we can do all that while still supporting these protests. I just think you should be more angry about extrajudicial murder than you should be about stolen property. And sure, you can be mad about both, but we really need you to be speaking out about the murder part and not the rest of it. I know this episode wasn't very much fun, but frankly, we need to have this conversation, even if it makes us uncomfortable, especially if it makes us uncomfortable. So please, I encourage you to think about what you can do to amplify the message that these protests are trying to send. Don't let bad actors muddy the waters and change the subject. And above all else, please stay safe and take care of each other. That's all I got.
My name is Louis Farber. Walter S. Cummings is on assignment this week. And now for Puppet News. When times got tough, the president turned off all the lights and hid under a blanket. He reportedly wet himself repeatedly and cried out for his mama and the Hamburglar. Joining me now is our investigative reporter, Crunchy, filling in for Walter S. Cummings. Hello, Crunchy.
Hello, Louis. Thank you for having me. I'm coming to you live from Walter's house.
Oh my!
I broke in. Yeah, I let myself in through the back window, and I've been going through his things. I'm at his underwear drawer now, and let me tell you, there was definitely a TP shortage here.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, while Walter is on assignment, Crunchy and I will unpack the news. Are you ready, Crunchy?
Yes, looking forward to it.
All right. Our first story is a couple was caught violating social distancing rules on a Brooklyn subway platform.
Like how? They're just standing too close or not wearing a mask? Or...
Well, they were wearing masks, but they were indeed standing too close. This couple had sex on the subway platform. The underground encounter was recorded and narrated by a construction worker from the other side of the tracks.
There's a narrator?
Yes, sir.
This story gets better and better.
Indeed. At one point during the filming, you can hear the man saying, "Yeah, I don't care. I don't mind that shit. That shit's like Pornhub to me. Have a good one, bro."
You know, if I wrote the headline for this story, you know what I would write?
What's that?
Corona couple caught on camera canoodling.
Wow.
Yeah. Alliteration is important in headlines.
It certainly is. If you keep that up, you might replace Walter full time. Who knows?
Oh, I'm coming for you, old man.
Oh, he's going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
A man has been arrested in Thailand for allegedly stealing his neighbor's shoes in order to have sex with them.
What? Well, all right, hang on. He's having sex with their shoes?
Yes, I'm afraid so, Crunchy. The 24-year-old man was found with a staggering 126 pairs of shoes that he had stolen from locals.
Wow. And
Indeed.
Imagine that breakup, and you like get a phone call a couple of months later. It's like, honey, listen, I just got tested. Turns out I have athlete's foot. You might want to get yourself checked.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Allegedly, this man had been doing this for over 2 years, and he told the officers that after several hours of wearing the flip-flops, by the way, all these shoes were flip-flops, he cuddled.
That is an important detail.
It is. I buried the lead there. But after several hours of wearing the flip-flops, he cuddled and kissed them, then stripped, rubbed them on his body.
Oh, God.
Before having sex with them.
I did not think it was going to get that detailed.
Yes. It brings a whole new meaning to the term flip-flop, I imagine.
Ah, gross. Gross. This has been a sexy news day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We aim to please. Well, we figured since we were having you on, we'd do a lot of sexy stories.
Oh, well. You know me well, Louis.
I do indeed, sir. Perhaps we should throw it to weather.
It's super fucking hot outside.
Thank you, Stuart. And now we should probably go to the even more sexy Michael T. with sports.
Yeah, Michael T.
Okay, so this week in sports is cheddar cheese chasers. So white folks are chasing cheese down a hill at 70 miles per hour with their bodies to catch an 8-pound thing of fake cheese. It's not even real cheese. It's fake cheese. That's the sport. A 200-year-old sport.
Thank you, Michael T. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude this evening by saying that everyone here at Puppet News stands against racism. That I stand against racism. I stand with the protesters who are protesting this racism. Everyone here at Puppet News hopes that you, the viewing audience, is safe, that you are healthy, and that your loved ones are too. We will see you next time with more fun and weird stories that hopefully will make you laugh for just a brief moment during these trying times. For my co-anchor this evening, Crunchy, who was filling in for Walter S. Cummings on assignment, my name is Louis Farber. Black Lives Matter. Good night, America.
Well, that's our show. What a depressing one it was, but hopefully in the midst of all this sadness and chaos, you got a few chuckles. We promise to be back next week. We promise to give you some actual comedy with our friends from Pizza Party and Bully Mammoth. Listen, we're just puppets. We have no answers to life's great mysteries. We're court jesters. We're here to make you laugh. And trust us when we say that this is not the episode we wanted to do. I've been struggling with how to do this show today. I've been struggling with how to do this show this weekend, or, you know, this is wrong. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. All I can tell you is that I love you, and I want you to stay safe, and I want you to love your neighbors, and I want you to be kind, and I want you to listen, and I want you to put yourself in other people's shoes, and I want the world to be better. And I know that there's nothing that I can say, or that you can say, or that you can feel, or that I can feel that is going to change anything tomorrow. But maybe, as Ron May so eloquently put it, we won't be able to change anything today, but maybe we'll be able to push the needle in the right direction. My friend Michael Thompson had this to say.
Thank you, Stitch. We're not saying that all lives don't matter. We're not saying blue lives don't matter. We're not even saying all cops are bad cops. We're just saying, remember that some of those blue lives are also black lives, and those lives are not mattering too much right now. So we're asking for every Karen, Kelly, Bob, and Braden to stand up and speak out. Ask for a manager, ask for a politician, senator, family member, friend, or foe to stop killing us, to allow us to live, to end racism. And if all else fails, and you don't know where else to go, call 977-1900.
We hope you liked the show. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back next week. We promise to make you laugh. We've got some great sketches from Pizza Party and Bully Mammoth. These guys are hilarious, and we're really excited to get back to what we're good at, making you smile. So, on behalf of the entire show, and Jen and all of our friends here, we bid you good night. And here's Michael T. with the final word.
Stop killing white people, you fuckface.
Damn!